Let's get cracking!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dota 2 Champions League playoffs. We're going to be getting into Team Tinker versus Fnatic. This is the lower bracket, the losers bracket. One of these teams is going to be heading home today. Well, they're already home. But one of these teams is going to be knocked out of the Dota 2 Champions League, while the other team keeps their hope alive. Because there was the change up to the Dota 2 Champions League fairly early on, we already have one secured slot for the European team, which is Team Empire. They finished first in their group, meaning they don't actually have to go through the playoffs at all. And there are still two other slots, seeing as the Chinese scene, that whole thing that ended up happening. We actually have two slots for the European scene. So the team that takes this on will face up against the loser of Na'Vi versus Power Rangers. And whoever wins that matchup will claim one of those two slots from the playoffs. So let's go ahead and jump into the draft. I welcome in my co-caster, good friend of mine, Pandago, is going to be joining me. What's going on, man?
Hey. Not much. I'm doing good.
So you've been playing around. So what is your team name? It's now Ham, right? It's the reformed Team Gurg.
Yeah, MSS was disappointed when he saw his Dota buff profile and it said Gurg.mss. He couldn't handle it. The emotional strain was too much or something. So. Ham Clubhouse is just like the team that we always use to play like SECS and stuff and like random stack tournaments for a long time. And since Dark Falco is one of our reserve players, we're using Ham Clubhouse. Yeah.
Isn't that the life of Dark Falco though? Always being the reserve player.
Yeah, I mean he has like school and stuff. So.
Yeah. So it's you, MSS. Who else is on that team?
Right now it's me, MSS, Dismic, Brax, and Bleak.
Oh, okay.
Bleak wasn't able to play yesterday because he had midterms, so... And then I guess we're still trying to figure out like another permanent reserve player, because that's why the team isn't really a permanent thing. Everyone has a lot of stuff. Like MSS, Bleak, all they have school, so we like hardly ever practice. Like Mojo just came home yesterday and we played our match basically.
Yeah.
But
and there is certainly a lot of tournament matches going on right now for the North American scene between the multiple tournaments, all having
the Summit alone has a lot.
Yeah.
All right, but let's look at this game.
Yeah, seriously, the draft went by really quickly with.
Yeah, they really did.
So we've got a Legion Commander Wiz combination for Team Tinker with the Witch Doctor and Sven. I've actually seen them run the Legion Commander quite a number of times here, very early on into the patch, and I thought we were going to be seeing them continually pick it from there on out, but it seems like it was something they kind of put on reserve for a little while because they had plenty of opportunities to pick up the Legion Commander as their offlaner. They had a really successful run with her, but they just kind of stopped picking her at a certain point. But I'm glad to see we're going to see that revival just because they were so successful with her, Koifa being a very strong Legion Commander play.
Yeah, and they just played Legion Commander also against Secret. Didn't quite go to plan, but it is a very strong hero regardless. And yeah, I do remember, I think, because when the new patch rolled over, that was like the last time I was actually casting with you pretty consistently. And yeah, that hero was really popular, like right, same with Terrorblade and stuff. Those heroes are like kind of finding their place. They're not super, like everyone's banning them and like freaked out by them anymore, but they're still good. And if you can make it work for your team, then it can be really strong.
Meanwhile, Fnatic have seemed to run something that was, well, very similar to 6.81. We still have the Brewmaster, still a very popular hero. The Jakiro being picked up, as well as a Faceless Void combination. It's going to be the Faceless Void plus the Ancient Apparition. I'm presuming, since you have an AA in the pool, that I'm looking at an Faceless Void 1 position. At least that's how I view it. Because at that point, if you're able to get the early farm, like the early Mask of Madness, basically with the Ancient Apparition, you're able to get solo kills around the map with a Faceless Void in the 1 position. As an off lane, I don't think you get quite enough farm to get that ensured kill between the Chronosphere and the Ice Blast. I'm not sure if you can really get a pick off by just the Faceless Void's damage plus the Ice Blast on top.
It just depends on how fast you get it. But yeah, if you're the 1 farming Void, you should be able to get it fast enough. But if you're like in the off lane and you have a bad start and you're not getting any like tower gold, which I mean they do have a Jakiro to help them get tower gold, but it'll just be way harder to get that Mask of Madness before the enemy team has enough HP to like survive the combo. Right. But you can still definitely find the pickoffs. I mean, it just won't be as easy. You can't like sit in a lane and kill whoever comes to you. Yeah, I think that's a really high chance that's a safe lane Void, and maybe like, I mean, off lane Jakiro has seen a lot of popularity, especially in the like more recent times, just because he's like, it's really difficult to dedicate, because you know before it was sort of you run safe lane Jakiro, but with this patch you can't really like dedicate your safe lane farmer as a Jakiro anymore. I mean, we've seen EG do it sometimes, but usually like when they do that, that's like their more consistent losses is when they try and do like the core Jakiros and stuff, because if you don't win like convincingly early and the enemy team just has better carries, like Jakiro does fall off pretty hard. Right. I mean, especially if they have BKB heroes, so.
Yeah, especially since like Ice Path,
to see what they do.
Like one of the most common combinations for Jakiro going into like the mid to late game, you'll Scepter into an Ice Path, but you can still like get off a BKB in those timings. Silencer is going to be our last pickup though, and that means we are much more likely to see a Faceless Void as an off lane. And Silencer, I guess, is the 1 position, though the really odd. I mean, they could run a 1 position Jakiro here, but I feel like that would be.
I think that's support Silencer.
Wow. Okay.
Just come with me to support, right?
So off lane Jakiro, like you said, then.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. We'll see though.
Yeah.
I mean, they could run a core Jakiro still too, and have off lane Void. I would be really surprised if they did that though.
Yeah, I would be quite surprised too. And as you said, Silencer. Well, okay.
Ani picked it up. All right. So like I said, as long as they're committing to like really early aggression by doing this, and they have to take a lot of towers, and I mean all of their heroes do really well with farm. Like Silencer, he needs his Zags. Ancient Apparition needs Zags. Faceless Void, obviously, I mean the more items the better, and like Panda can scale pretty well too, so their whole lineup scales pretty well. So as long as they're able to get tower gold and then sort of use that gold advantage to snowball their whole lineup, they'll be okay. But if they don't, then their heroes are pretty weak at farming. Like compared to a Sven and a Legion Commander and even Witch Doctor, like and Puck, those heroes are pretty strong farmers.
Right.
I mean, they're just gonna fall behind in terms of farm game, and they don't have a really strong pickoff either. They have a good team fight though. So yeah, they just need to basically do well in the lanes, get some early towers, and kind of just snowball with their like early gold advantage and hope that they can win that way. But other than that, I really like Team Tinker's lineup, and just like they have better farming capabilities. They honestly have better pickoff capabilities. Their team fight is just a little bit weaker. So they just need to avoid like 5-man fights as much as possible. Split push, which they have a Wisp. I mean, you know, the greatest hero ever for that, because it turns any hero into a split pusher. And then they just need to sort of look for like, you know, the opportunities to fight. They don't want to take every fight. Like, you're not going to be wanting to fight at every tier 1 tower, but if you see a good chance with the Wisp, you just relocate in and take a 5-man wipe, and that'll like seal the game if they get a really good team fight off of that.
Yeah, and
so this is like all perfect world stuff, but that's how I'd expect this game to go probably.
Yeah. And just to build on that, like Team Tinker searching for pickoffs, I think one of my favorite things about this draft is that both Legion Commander and Sven are great Wisp heroes. So we're looking around, relocating around the map, moving and looking for those kills. They don't necessarily just have to stick the Wisp with one hero. They can either bounce it between the Legion Commander or the Sven, especially if the Legion Commander is able to pick up an early Blink Dagger. Now, what do you think about the fact they're going to be running a mid Legion Commander and an off-lane Puck here? In fact, normally we've been seeing Koifa playing the Legion Commander, but since it is going to be a mid Legion here, Pycat's going to be taking over that role.
I like that a lot, actually, because Puck deals well with the Silencer Harass and the Liquid Fire Harass. Like, he can phase shift dodge a lot of damage. And, like you said, they want the Legion Commander to get farm. and get like a quick blink, because that'll help them with early pickoffs and like sort of avoiding this snowball. Because that's how you avoid the enemy team grouping and 5-man death, like not like yeah, basically 5-man pushing is by getting pickoffs or by split pushing. And if you don't have a blink dagger, it's a lot more dangerous to split push aggressively. So they really want to get that blink dagger early on the Legion, because Puck can kind of do it without a blink dagger. I mean, it's harder, but you know, you have your orb and phase shift, so
right.
You can still split push without being in major danger.
And it's looking like Come With Me is actually taking over a safe lane silencer farming position. Hani's actually doing all the harassing here, which is odd because that's just a role change up. Because Come With Me has been traditionally a support player in all of his stand-ins, and especially during the time that he's been playing with Fnatic, he's always been on the support role. So it's interesting to see Hani go back to support and Come With Me actually taking over the 1 position here.
Yep, they kind of threw us for a loop, but I mean, it's the same concept still. Like, they just needed to get levels on Jakiro and kind of push his tower down. He has a ring, so I mean, he's going to get a ring of Basilius, I would assume. And they're probably going to try and push his tower really early against the Puck.
Right. Pycat in the middle lane is going to be taking a lot of extra help from EGM, who's doing the typical dual lane situation with the Wisp. He's one of the best at this. He's going to be looking to stack up both of these camps and feed them over to, I'm guessing the Sven, though Legion Commander is not bad at taking stats either, thanks to that big AoE of your overwhelming odds, which is the main ability that makes you such a prolific mid laner, because you're able to pick up that early bottle. As you can see, it looks like he's going for a fast bottle build, though he delayed it slightly for boots first, but I'm presuming a bottle is still next up on his list.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he does have the Puck bottle, so that's why typically when you see people do the Wisp, anything middle, Wisp Tiny, Wisp, I guess Legion Commander.
Right, yeah.
You usually see them just go the straight boots, because it gives them a lot, like, it gives, especially with Tiny, it gives you way more pressure in lane, because once Tiny's 3, like, you can threaten people a lot with the combo with Wisp. If Wisp gets level 2 and you're 3, you can kill a lot of heroes with that.
Now, one downside is the fact that because they're running dual lane, sure, it's helping out the Legion Commander. They're going to have a lot of farm available to them due to the stacks and everything else, but it seems like Ace is doing a pretty good job here in this off lane. He's already level 3.5. He's getting, well, 6 last hits at 3 minutes. That's not too bad for an off laner, but the biggest thing is he seems to be getting full experience out of his lane.
That's one of the big things with the Wisp dual lanes, is you definitely open up the offlaner. So this, I mean, we're kind of like talking about how maybe the Void will be the 1 position, but he's still going to get a lot. And it'll be enough where, like, he'll be able to probably effectively pressure with his Chronosphere and AA ults early, because you don't have to get it ridiculously fast in order to be aggressive with that. Rise is getting run at middle here. I don't think
they're just doing a little bit of harassment, it looks like.
Wow,
Pycat is really diving deep for this one. He's got an overwhelming odds coming up in just a minute. Of course, it's only just 1 unit inside that one, so it's not really doing quite enough damage. He's making EGM get so low after diving underneath that tower, but they will get the first blood. In fact, Pycat may even be able to get out from this one. Pops the I always forget. Press the attack. His damn abilities, man.
Like immortal.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, it just needs to be a level 1 too. And it seems like the regen is just so strong in these early levels that no one can really deal with it. Ace is going on Bulba here in the top lane, but was unlucky and didn't get any time lock procs. In fact, you can see he is not going for any levels of backtrack. He's going for the much more aggressive build. EGM, it's in some trouble here in the middle lane, but press the attack, and this is why this combination is so strong. Giving the regen to the Wisp and then tethering up means you both get that insane level 1 regen.
Yep, it's 30 HP regen and last 5 seconds. Also, they're pressuring this bottom tower, but Hani like rotated to try and get those cleanup kills, so they actually don't have the Jakiro to like pressure bottom tower with them right now, which is obviously the hero you want there. He also has a pretty weird Jakiro build. I'm not familiar with this one myself, but that's more of like, I guess, a zoning build if you were really trying to zone an offlaner, but I feel like against Puck that probably isn't going to be like a really effective zoning build because he can dodge a lot of that damage.
Yeah.
I would assume that he was going to just go look at fire and push, but
Yeah, I'm presuming the build is still going to be like 2-0-4 from here.
Yeah, I doubt he's gonna max dual breath. I'll be very, very surprised.
Yeah, that would definitely be a new one for the books, that's for sure. But so far, if we look at a whole as the laning phase, take a look at the CS. Silencer is topping out the board, but Team Tinker are short behind, second and third place with Sven and their Legion Commander. So it seems like the laning phase is going really well for Team Tinker, especially since they do have all those stacks available to them. The biggest advantage that Fnatic are going to be having coming outside of this laning phase is the fact that their offlaner, this Faces Void, who's sitting at level 5, is doing so much better than the Puck, who is right now sitting at level 3. Boba is standing and fighting here. In fact, they're going to go for the kill on Ace. Looks like he should be able to make a leap away, but is it going to be far enough? It looks like they want to chase for this one. Not quite enough damage just yet, but Sing Sing 3 seconds until he has another stun, and he's got the movement speed. He's going to have to try Jupiter. One hit there. Sing Sing just wipes out the Faceless Void. I was expecting like 2 hits needed there, but Faces Void, I guess, squishy enough that Sing Sing was able to take him out there. So they do successfully chase down that offlaner and at least punish him for all the experience he's been able to get so far in lane.
These Wisp dives are really like proving to be strong right now. They're just like running at them with boots and a Wisp. And people are just like, you're sort of in this mentality where they're not expecting the dives kind of, and then they just run through. But I would have been really impressed, or like if Ace, I mean, I wouldn't say it would be an easy play or decision right there, but like when they were positioning like that, you saw Boba and everyone literally just running down waiting for the time walk away. If he would have just jumped into the trees and TP'd, like he would have lived there for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of a difficult decision to make at that moment, and it wouldn't be a guaranteed, but it would have been, I think he had a higher chance of living if he tried to just TP in the trees rather than run away.
Yeah, honestly, I felt like he was kind of gonna live there just because I didn't expect such a huge dive. But that's the one thing, is that you look at the Fnatic support heroes, the Ancient Apparition, the Jakiro. These are not heroes that are really known for being great responders to that kind of aggression. They're not your typical support heroes that deal well with teleporting into attempted ganks like that. Ancient Apparition has no response whatsoever, and the most you can hope out of a Jakiro is an Ice Path, a level 1 Ice Path, which is just a 1-second stun. Yeah.
Until just a minute ago. So.
Yep.
And it's still really hard to like TP in and then land an Ice Path on someone.
Oh, duel in the middle lane. They're going to go for a Rise here. The Ice Path goes out. I just want to try and save a Rise. In fact, they do make sure the duel damage doesn't go to Pycat, but they immediately get the kill anyway. Chronosphere locked in 3. It looks like he's going to be able to pick up the kill on EGM, though the tether slows him down quite heavily. Now, oh no, the cask bouncing between both Ace and Hani. Look at that nuke. The overwhelming odds just destroys both of them, and Pycat will manage to clean up a kill, and EGM walks away with a double. Not only living there, but now almost level 6, thanks to being part of both of those kills like that. So a huge win for Team Tinker as things drastically going against Fnatic now.
Yep, Legion Commander just picked up some Blink Dagger too. Well, it's on the courier. But they tried to... the Void just like didn't have power charge there and really no damage. And he tried to go on the Wisp, who had his overcharge running with Bulba healing him. Like he had his Bulba left his Voodoo Restoration up the whole time, so he just like wasn't even damaging through the Voodoo Restoration. But yeah, this is sort of the weakness of Fnatic's lineup. Is I feel like their laning presence like was gonna be a little bit weaker, so that's why they really needed to like get some towers to sort of help them with that. But they've only got this bottom tower at half HP, and they can't really pressure the other ones, obviously, at least yet. So. Hani's trying to stack some camps to maybe help catch up, but I feel like if they try to play the stack game against Team Tinker, they're gonna end up losing that just because of their heroes versus Team Tinker's heroes. All their heroes are just better at doing that.
Yeah, you can see the efficiency, like with the Legion Commander currently farming through these stacks, is about to be level 9 by 9 minutes in. That's pretty insane, but then on top of that... Yeah, and then on top of that, they're having Puck sit in this middle lane and get the experience that he was missing out on in comparison to the Faceless Void. So Koifa is going to have some time for recovery, while EGM, now that he's level 6, they can just roam around the map as the Legion Commander Wisp combination with the Blink Dagger that they have. They can start going for these dual kills.
Yep. They might go for... Let's see. I think they're probably just going to go for the Silencer, because I think... That's the easiest kill for them. Never mind, they're gonna go top with the Sven stun.
Oh god, Ace is gonna be able to make a time lock away, but they still have the Blink duel, and Pycat will make sure that he gets that kill. So 1-6 now, 10 minutes in, and Fnatic looking pretty damn good so far. And
that was a good kill with the first blink usage, and now they're gonna get the tower off of it too. Oh, they have the press the attack Sven combo. That's pretty crazy too.
Real quick, can you check to make sure in Dota TV that you don't have your sound on? As Arise may be going down here, gets off the ultimate in time, and Team Tinker have already kind of split themselves. EGM's going to be caught here, it looks like, as the Chronosphere locking him into place. They're going to be able to pick up EGM. Maybe not, though. Oh, my goodness. The press the attack is going to allow EGM to walk himself away with all that extra regen, and not even the Brewmaster's damage can finish him off. Arise is going to come back with no health whatsoever, straight into a duel, and will be feeding away another bit of damage to Pycat. EGM even on a dominating spree now. They're going to be chasing into Hani, who is going to be followed up underneath the Tier 1 tower. Looks like no rotations from Fnatic whatsoever against the 5-man rotation of Team Tinker diving underneath the Tier 1 tower. Rise and come with me. I mean, again, the passive nature of these heroes, they can't respond to that kind of aggression. The most come with me could do in that situation is pop an ultimate, but I guess he never saw a good opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I don't think it's on. You mean my co-broadcaster thing? EGM's relocating out right here.
Okay, it might not be you. It's just I'm getting some reports of messed out Dota TV sound. Sorry guys, we've been changing up the studio lately, so that might be part of the problem. I'll look into it going into game number 2. Arise going to be caught out here by the stun, doesn't have an ultimate, so he's going to be going down here as the Witch Doctor ultimate, sending the rest of these heroes back. In fact, Hani almost dying here as the cask bounces. Just bounce between the Silencer and the Jakiro, and another great fight for Team Tinker, getting a pick off on the Brewmaster, almost even more than that, but about 12 minutes in, and they are already taking about a 7,500 gold lead and almost a 4,000 experience lead.
And I don't see them. I mean, as like grim as it sounds, the game will probably draw out much longer, and there's still many opportunities for them to come back. But if Team Tinker like just plays defensively, that's the thing. They don't even need to make plays at this point.
Right.
Team Tinker just needs to play smart Dota and farm, get their items, get Roshans, and like they have more towers right now than Fnatic, and Fnatic has a better push lineup. So I don't really know like what you could do if you're in Fnatic's shoes right now. Like if I was on their team, I'd be trying to figure out what we could do. Their best case scenario is they basically need to keep stacking, farming, and hope that like Team Tinker makes a big mistake and like overcommits or something. It looks like they're gonna smoke gang top maybe and then push off of it.
It looks like they may be going for a Rise, who is going to be caught out here inside the jungle. EGM adding in that additional damage, and will be able to get another duel for Pycat, sitting already at 30 extra damage by 12.5 minutes in. Meanwhile, the top lane, they will be able to catch out Sing Sing, and they will blow everything. As the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast kind of off the mark, but it doesn't seem to matter. They still have enough damage with 4 different heroes focusing down 1. They find that pick off, something they desperately needed, and now looking to push that into the Tier 1 tower, and at least force Team Tinker back on the defensive a little bit. That way they can get some map control on their side of the map. Well, maybe you teleport in, relocate, silence ultimate, goes out, come with me, is going to turn onto Koifa. Try and do what damage he can. Beautiful ice path there from Hani as Koifa getting quite low, but not low enough. As come with me, unable to secure that kill, and it looks like he's going to be trapped, as well as the Face's Void going down thanks to the Witch Doctor ultimate. And they'll go right back to middle after claiming themselves 2 kills. So successfully not only defending that Tier 1 tower, getting a great team fight, but also continuing that pressure in the middle lane and controlling the enemy side of the map. I mean, Fnatic have so little room to work with right now. Their jungle is just constantly under siege by Pycat, who's pretty much farming it up and taking it away from Fnatic.
Yeah. They need to 5-man, but they can't. Their 5-man is actually way weaker now because they're so behind. Like, their Panda doesn't have a Blink Dagger and he's level 8. I mean, they can't really split push or farm because they'll get picked off nonstop by Legion Commander and like Sven and Puck. And the only hero that they have to pick stuff off with is the Void, because Panda doesn't have his Blink Dagger. So there's just like so few options for them. And even though they should try and stack the jungle and farm it, they can't, like you said, because it's uncontested. They're just, anywhere they go, they're gonna get murdered.
It's duel after duel after duel, which means that like you look at the heroes on the side of Fnatic, and like if I was just looking at the draft, I'd be going, yeah, I think Fnatic have a bit better late game because they've got a Faceless Void. They've also got Silencer, who's amazing in the late game as well. But when you really start giving such a huge gold advantage to the enemy team, it makes a big difference. And the fact that Team Tinker also have this another, like, not only just the gold snowballing in their favor, but even Pycat, it can definitely turn into this amazing carry if you give him so much extra damage. He's already at 44 extra damage, and this generally snowballs quite quickly once you start giving 4 or 5 duels away. The Legion Commander, you don't need a damage item. That's the beautiful thing. If you're winning so many duels, you can just go for like the Blink Dagger, Blade Mail, and BKB, and that's going to be enough in order to win these duels. And as he finds another one on to Ace here, the Ice Path comes out, will delay that damage. It looks like Ace, well, he's still going to fall, even if the dual damage isn't given up to Pycat. Now they're going to be chasing out Hani, who is going to try and teleport away, and ooh, the physical damage by itself was almost enough to secure that kill, but fortunately Hani will be able to get himself out just in time. And bottom lane, looks like they're going to be going for that dive. The invis here from Bulba. He's going to be wrapping around behind the tier 2. Ryze has got nowhere to run to. He's going to be silenced up, and Koifa should be able to add enough damage to be able to get that kill. And sure enough, Team Tinker diving past tier 2s this early on into the game just shows how confident they feel about the control that they hold on this game.
Yeah. EGM is level 11. He's 8-1 at 16 minutes. Like, that is a very, very farmed Wisp.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna be getting like their next set of items on all their heroes before Fnatic even has their first items at this rate. Like, Voids doesn't. He's not even close to a Mask of Madness, which at this point, if he gets a Mask of Madness, it's just gonna get him killed. Like, an early Mask of Madness is really good because it like lets you, you know, be really aggressive with the ganks and the Ancient Apparition ult. And your like Chronos, you can actually kill people in your Chronos by yourself if you catch out weak targets. But when you get it at this point where the enemy team is going to be like ganking you, or you're going to be 5-manning, you're just going to get blown up in team fights if you pop Mask of Madness.
Yeah, and if this is
from behind.
Yeah, if this is a successful rotation for Koifa, then he's actually going to jump up to 4th in the net worth. Like, the Wisp is head of the 1-position Silencer right now. Like, that's how bad it's going for the side of Fnatic. The puck, who was shut down so heavily, is about to rival the Silencer's net worth as well. If they could just find that rotation, which it looks like they will be able to get it. It's going to be on a Ryze. The Silencer ultimate does go out. Maybe a Ryze can live long enough to get off his ultimate. Doesn't seem like it, though. The cask bouncing around makes it a hazard for him, even after the Silencer ultimate goes down. And another pick off for Team Tinker.
Yeah, I mean, you can't farm the lanes like that at this point if you, I mean, as Fnatic, but I don't really know what else they can do.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's nothing they can do. They're in the situation where they probably feel it's just over, but they don't want to give up yet.
Yeah, exactly.
He's getting murdered.
Especially with the comeback mechanic. Maybe they can come back into this game, though it's looking rougher and rougher as 2 heroes are going to go down. Ryze is going to be up next. They did manage to get the Faceless Void out of that sticky situation, but still, it's looking very rough for Fnatic. Not really any way they can come back into this game. It's just endurance at this point. It's just like surviving the onslaught and going, okay, we're going to get picked off a lot. And we just have to hope that Team Tinker, like, basically mess up when they go for the push uphill.
Really badly.
really badly multiple times.
Yeah, because you don't really need to force the push uphill for them either, because Team Tinker just has better late game at this point because of their gold advantage. They could just farm forever, get like 3 items on all their heroes, because all of their heroes can farm because they're so farmed. I mean, they could barely kill the Wisp right now. If they chronoed an AL to the Wisp with like someone else helping, it would be a close kill. I mean, that's scary to think about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm of the like mentality where if I was playing in this best of 3 right now, I would want to leave because I'd rather just like save the team morale rather than sit and like get butchered. And I mean, they've already tried to make multiple plays. I would say like make a play and try and make something happen and either go like all in and win or lose off of that. But they've done it a few times now and they're still sticking with it. So I will definitely give them props for commitment. Sing Sing might be in trouble here.
Yeah, the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is going to land on Sing Sing. He's going to turn around, get off a stun. They need a bit more damage if they want him to shatter. It looks like Ace will be able to provide that extra bit. Now the relocate in, Chronosphere on 2, and this turns from a nice little pickoff into maybe even more. EGM may be falling here. Ryze needs a little bit more mana for the clap, and that should have been what secured the kill. Duel on to Ace, who was hoping to be able to survive through this one. Fortunately, the Ice Blast lands, but it's still not going to be the case as the Silencer ultimate goes out. Pycat still able to claim that one pickoff. And now, potentially a turnaround. As Silencer ultimate fades, Pycat is ready to pursue. Arise leaving behind Hani. Fortunately, he was able to get out before the Dream Coil landed, but Hani's not going to be as lucky. Ice Blast comes in. Koifa doesn't realize it. He'll be hit and shattered. So, what,
That's
2
nice.
for 2 exchange there? Really not that bad for Fnatic.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they got 2 kills. They used every ult for it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if now the Team Tinker saw that, if they're smart, which I'm sure they are, they're going to just, like, pressure for the next minute and a half or so. Like, it's just they're going to take at least 1 tier 2 off of this. Or Roshan, or they'll get a bigger objective off of that.
Yep.
And instead of just farming for at least the next minute or so, because they have no Pandal, no Chrono. I guess they're not, though, because they're all coming back up in a minute and they haven't really started to do anything, so...
So
I mean,
looks
either
like
way, yeah.
it looks like Pycat's going to be going for the Mjolnir build on the Legion Commander. Obviously, really strong with static charge. Are there any other, like, since we're talking about Legion Commander quite a bit this game, are there any other item builds you like to see on Legion Commander? Any ideas of using her as, is it just off lane and mid that are only laning positions? Like, you know, just give me a breakdown of what you think Legion Commander can do in this patch.
I mean, I think she gets most of her damage from, like, her duels. Like, that's what you should be expecting to have happen. So I'm okay with the Mjolnir build, but because you just go blame Mjolnir like this, and you can murder people if they hit. Like, everyone, you're expecting everyone to basically be auto-attacking you in this sort of team lineup they have. I mean, you just go in the front, you blink in and tank, and you're kind of like, I guess, a ranged version of Axe. Like, you force people to attack you, but yeah. I'm not like a huge Legion Commander, you know, like buff. I don't really know all the intricacies of her builds. I actually don't think I've ever played that her yet. Yeah, I really haven't. I don't pub too often, and when I do, I don't play Legion Commander. But she definitely has a place in this meta, and I think the way you play it is the same way that Pycat is playing it. Like, you go Blade Mail. I don't know if you have to go Blade Mail first. I think it was smart this game because they had such a big advantage and he could farm anywhere he wanted anyways. And you have overwhelming odds already. Yeah. To basically use your farming mechanics. So you don't need the Maelstrom to farm. It's just for the kill potential when you duel.
Yeah, especially with the Wisp and the relocate possibilities, like add in the extra bit of mobility with the Blink Dagger. Like, you're basically looking for those free pickoffs with the relocate Legion Commander combination. And being able to have a Blink Dagger kind of ensures you do secure that pickoff much easier. And you can start that snowball generally a little bit faster than normal with some early duel damage. We do have Brewmaster with the Blink Dagger. Really doesn't look like Fnatic have been able to build much, though, as they do have, I guess, the Aghanims finished up on Come With Me. That was done like a minute or two ago. Oh, actually, they jump into Roshan here. Ace is trying to steal. In fact, he does get Roshan and the Aegis. Huge play from Ace. As now, well, he's going to be losing said Aegis and possibly losing his life here. Pycat's going to get a duel. Oh, no, the Silencer Ultimate goes out. Ace will make a leap away and teleports out thanks to that Silencer Ultimate, but still, huge play there from Ace. I mean, this is a guy who really didn't have a place in any team just a month ago after the death of his former team. MYM, they kind of fell apart, and he didn't really have a place. And I was saying, you know, I really respected Ace, and he was at one point the drafter for MYM. I thought he did a good job there. I thought he was an excellent offlaner, and I was surprised
EGM
to
right
see.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
Is that gonna kill though? It's gonna be, what is he, 11?
He should
11.
take out here. Yeah, he'll go down.
Nice. That was really, really nice ult from Rise.
Yeah, very nicely done. In fact, that gets him really close to Aghanims for himself.
I mean, if I eat my own words and Fnatic wins this game, man, I would be so happy. It would be like one of the biggest comebacks I've ever seen, and that is saying something. Like, I've seen some pretty crazy comebacks before. Because this is like, I mean, although the gold, I mean, I've probably seen bigger, like, you know, golden deficits and stuff, but you don't see like these huge mounting advantages where it's going up like over and over and they're just getting picked off and getting out farmed, and then they come back with heroes that, like, in theory, they should not be able to really like make a comeback with the heroes they have, because they should just get out farmed by Team Tinker. As long as Team Tinker puts up good wards and like has good map sense, it's like Fnatic had to use every alt bottom to pick off Sven. Like, that's how behind they were. Yeah. And that was all they got out of it. Well, they traded 2 for 2 because of that nice ult from Rise that hit the Wisp, but I mean, or the puck, sorry. But it's just like, I don't think that they should be able to come back in this game. but they're making like a stand. They've like instead of bringing the deficit down, they've at least put it to a point where it's like staying at 15,000 in experience and gold. So that's something.
Yeah, at least
and their heroes,
stagnated
like
a little bit.
Their heroes, even though they're mega behind, like if they do eventually get their items, which will probably take to like 50 minutes at this point, I mean they can definitely fight Team Tinker.
Oh, look at this. The Ice Blast is coming bottom lane. It looks like it's off the mark, though, unless Puck jumps forward, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But they do. Oh, God. Ace, you had a beautiful Aegis steal, but I'm not sure if that was your play. He's going to try and teleport away, but it's going to be caught by the relocate before he can get out. So a huge whiff there from Ace, showing the downside of his beautiful play earlier, I guess. Whiffing a chrono like that, not really good, but they do have the Mask of Madness, right, which is important. It goes to show that they do have some potential solo pickoff potential. Arise in some serious trouble here as he's going to be falling. Another bit of dual damage going to Pycat. Ice Blast is going to be able to land. Pycat's going to be fine for now. Doesn't look like there's any other damage coming in. EGM, meanwhile, chasing away 2 supports. Solo, no problem, as he is so damn farm, it doesn't even matter.
They really need that pickoff on puck bottom, trading that, like suiciding. They're basically giving the ganks to Team Tinker now.
Yeah.
But they do have some nice heroes like against Team Tinker's fight and team fights. Like Ancient Apparition is really good against the Wisp Heals and the press the what is it called? Yeah, press the attack. I was about to say press the odds. All those abilities have too many words for me. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
Moment of Courage, press the attack, overwhelming odds. I like Duel. That one's simple.
Yep. Me and you both. At least Silencer looks like they're giving up a tier 3 tower in the bottom lane, and looks like the full set of Raxes. In fact, they're going to relocate in. Come With Me has taken the tower, but it's going to cost him his life and probably the full set of Raxes here. Sing Sing will fight on with his BKB. They're going to be coming back into this team fight. Looks like Sing Sing is actually going to be abandoning the rest of his team, and EGM will be the only one returning and the only one dying for the side of Team Tinker. So I suppose they keep their melee racks alive. That's something, I guess.
Yeah,
But
it's really low, though.
losing a tier 3 in a range racks this early on into the game is not a good sign.
A picks up Ags. Witch Doctor has Ags. Silencer has Ags. Everyone's got Ags. But they did use Silencer ult there. I think that was kind of a weird ult because I feel like he was pretty dead at that point.
Yeah.
It just opens up options for Team Tinker. I mean, they don't have to like continue pushing, but they definitely have the option to now that Silencer ult is down, because that's one of the best tools they have against Team Tinker's team fight. When they relocate in, they can just Silencer ult and then try and turn it around. Like Ice Path and Silencer ult. If you can see where the Wisp is TPing, you Ice Path over it, Silencer ult to protect everyone, you just kill like whoever Wisp relocated in with. And also Bulba, like they have Witch Doctor, and they don't have a ton to cancel it besides Silencer. I mean, they have Chronosphere, but Bulba's going to probably be way in the back, so it's going to be hard to hit him with that.
Hani with all that burst damage from Koifa's
Dagon,
Dagon, they'll be able to get that pick off. Fortunately, the blink away from Rise, and both him and Rise will both be far enough back. They won't be caught by this relocate, but still, Team Tinker. Well, here's another item build I want to talk about. We've seen the one position Sven a couple times. We've also seen support Sven coming in and having a lot of farm, and both of them have gone for the Aghanims upgrade, which is new for the Sven here. Doesn't look like Sing Sing is opting for it, despite the fact that I would say he's got a pretty good option. I mean, most of his heroes don't actually take benefit of the Aghanims, but the Legion Commander is certainly a great semi-carry that would take advantage of that Aghanims upgrade. Do you think that's something he should be looking at here, or what do you think about the upgrade in general?
I really dislike it on core Svens. I feel like it's really weird. I mean, unless you have like a bunch of right-click heroes. I mean, in this game, I mean, you do have Legion Commander, like you said, but I just don't think it like is valid this game. But I think if you like see teams running a support Sven, you could just see them getting like a Blink Dagger and an Ags, and that could be a pretty good build if you have like some heroes that would really benefit. If you have a lot of cores that would benefit from the right click damage, I think it's more viable if you did it as a support hero, because it gives you a lot of HP and you just need the Blink Dagger to initiate. So,
right.
I mean, not like we see support Svens, but maybe in the distant future, someone smarter than me will figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it too. I've seen it a couple times in this latest patch, but it really hasn't taken a hold for any team just yet. But I would love to see it. As
I feel like he's kind of like an alchemist in
right.
the way that you can play him really aggressively early, roaming, and then he's like a worse version of Sand King early game, where he doesn't like come online as fast. but he's probably better in the late game just because he scales better with the more items you get.
Yeah.
So
I often compare him to a worse version of the Wraith King, where it's solely because of your mana pool, right? Because you've got 1 stun. At least Wraith King's got 2 stuns with the mana pool that he's got, but Sven, only 1. Like, he starts off with, what, like 200 mana, and his Storm Bolt costs 140. Well, jump in. Pycat is going to be Chronosphered here. Ice Blast goes down, and maybe they can actually kill Pycat. In fact, they will. Extra bit of intelligence. Come with me. Will pop his ultimate. Gets a little bit low, but it's actually going to be the Brewmaster jumping out. They'll catch EGM. Secondary kill, possibly even more, as the Tornado goes on to Bulba. They're going to jump him back down. Another stun goes out. Sing Sing is working his way through some of these supports. Overwhelming odds will finish off Arise. Now they're going to be jumping onto Ace, who makes the leap away. Doesn't look like they're able to do much extra. Arise, meanwhile, losing his ultimate, was still chasing Bulba, but Bulba quickly turning around with just dropping the Death Ward and actually wins that man fight. 3 heroes go down on the side of Fnatic, while I believe 2 went down on the side of Team Tinker. It was both EGM as well as the Legion Commander, but they didn't really care. They just immediately bought back, came back into the team fight.
yeah, once you see the Wisp and the Legion Commander buy back, or even once you just see the Wisp buy back, you should instantly assume that someone else is going to be buying back to come back. You just have to start running. If you force 2 buybacks in the team fight and you can like live, even if you lose 1 person while you're running away, it's going to be worth it. And I think they overcommitted a little bit there, where they could have killed the Wisp, and then as soon as they killed the Wisp, they should have probably been more cautious, because they should expect basically everyone on Team Tinker to have buybacks at this point.
Pycat gunning for finishing off this melee racks. He does have a BKB if he wants to try and make that commitment. Is going to be popping it now, but doesn't look like he wants to go back in. Only 350 health. I feel like he maybe could have committed for that one, but he also, Team Tinker, with how much control they're exerting over this game right now, they can just as easily wait for the full 5-mana Team Tinker before they go uphill, and should still be able to claim this building, though we'll see whether or not Fnatic can make some sort of stand. They do have a Chronosphere up in another 8 seconds, and that's going to be what determines this fight and whether they can find any kills off of this engagement. Stun onto Hani. Ace is coming in. Chronosphere will lock down 2 in the back. With the Ice Blast coming in, they'll be able to actually pop EGM. Nicely played. Ace, meanwhile, trying to get away, but oh, no backtracks as the Dagon just destroys him. And the Arise now is going to be up next. Evasion was able to help him out quite a bit there. Looks like he should be able to get back to his fountain before the finishing blows from Team Tinker. So they do get the melee rack. Sure, they lost EGM, but at the end of the day, it's just a support hero. Koifa playing this quite aggressively. Duel on to come with me. The Ice Path goes out, as well as Arise, even popping the ultimate, trying to lock down Pycat. In fact, come with me, we'll be able to get away. No, the overwhelming odds finish him off as his last dying breath. Pycat is able to get the kill before he goes down. A full minute and a half, though. This is a lot of time for Fnatic to actually... Well, unfortunately, a lot of their heroes are down for, half a minute. But maybe Arise can push out this bottom lane a little bit. And Hani, I guess he can farm up his Yule Scepter in this middle lane. He's not far from it.
Yep. That was a little bit over-aggressive from Pycat, I think. But in the end, he still did get the kill.
Yeah.
And they're at the point where they're feeling very confident. I mean, I'm sure they've been feeling pretty confident the whole game, but... They got it racks down now, so it makes it even easier for them to push in that bottom lane and sort of set it up to pick people off from it. And it just opens up the map even more for them to just keep outfarming Fnatic.
Yeah.
Sing Sing has his AC on the courier. Let's see, I guess Pycat's not really any closer to an item. Does Wisp have his item? No.
Bulba does have a BKB, though.
He's really close.
As well
That's
as
huge, actually.
Dagon 4 on the puck. So
between those, once Bulba gets a BKB, he can just like sit in the back. As soon as Silencer globals, he BKs Vs and murders them. So, and Fnatic doesn't have a way to deal with it besides global. So if Bulba does just sit in the back and wait for that, then they're gonna lose every team fight horrendously. You can't fight a Witch Doctor into a Witch Doctor ult. And the thing is, like, if they've committed global to the fight and then they trade Death Ward for the global every time, like that's always gonna be in favor of Team Tinker.
Relocate top lane. Ace is gonna throw out a Chronosphere, and they're actually gonna turn on this one with the Ice Blast coming in. They may be able to get both these kills. Sing pops his BKB, turns, fights, but will be taken out. as he was unable to get any critical damage in there. And nice turnaround there from Fnatic off of that relocate gank. They certainly were prepared for that one, so nicely played by them. Now they're going to run into Koifa. Ice Path being laid down, and Koifa, well, that's the thing about the Yule Scepter. We talked about this earlier. You can actually do some of those instant abilities such as BKB, such as Phase Shift, in order to dodge that. But at least they still get the kill. 3 pickoffs from Team Tinker. And Fnatic now pushing out even more. I mean, they've only lost 1 lane of Rags. There's still something to hold on to here.
I mean, in theory, you can see how Fnatic's lineup was supposed to work with these early fights. I mean, they're getting some really good turnarounds. You have the Ice Path and AA. You just drop Ice Path where the relocate is, or you try and hit them when they come in, and you AA blast them. And that, like, alone is going to basically kill the Wisp. Plus, I mean, you just need, like, 1 more spell into the Wisp, and he'll be in big trouble. And then you have like Panda and Void to sort of jump in fights and make space for your team. And then Silencer to cover everyone. So I mean, their team fight is very strong. There's no doubting that. They're just so behind in terms of gold experience. It takes all of their abilities to kill like 1 hero. Yeah, and then they don't have enough for team fights.
Yeah, it's basically still Team Tinker's game quite easily. They would have to make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, they do have the refresher there. They also have the Aghanims upgrade for the Brewmaster, who does have his level 3 ultimate as well. So those are some significant upgrades, though. I honestly just, like, I haven't really felt the presence of this Silencer. Like, I haven't really felt like his ultimate has been that good. It's good against Relocate in general, but against maybe these specific heroes, like the Sven and the Legion Commander, like, yeah, Silence is annoying, but it doesn't threaten them that much, you know?
Pycat's using the Aegis to get some damage on the tower. Oh, he's main. No. Hopefully they see Bulba's BKB here. Like, they really need to scout that out, because if they see the BKB, they need to know that Silencer needs to at least save 1 ultimate, because now the BKB can get countered by the double ult of Silencer. He just needs to make sure he's not, like, using them both before Bulba uses his abilities.
Right. They'll try and keep him back with Veil Discord and some spam. Hani will get close enough. Bringing Pycat a bit low. Now the jump in from Koifa wipes out the dragon. And now falling back a little bit. EKB popped in. Nice Chronosphere as the Ice Blast goes down. The Silencer ultimate also going in. They're going to wipe out 3 here, I think. It's Koifa. He's going to be third to fall. Another Silencer ultimate going out. Sing Sing going to be locked in. Bulba will come back in. Pop his ultimate. Meanwhile, Pycat has been able to get the duel, able to take out 1, then 2. Back over to the Tornado, where Sven is still being held up. Pycat is going to be chasing down Rise, and if he gets 1 more hit, he will be able to get a triple kill for his team. A Rise, well, he may be up next. Pycat has extended himself pretty far out there, but it doesn't look like he's done just yet. Sure enough, he jumps into these tier 4s, pops his Blade Mail, just chasing these heroes back as Sing Sing will work on the buildings. Between press the attack as well as the extra heal from Bulba, they do have a lot of sustain between the two of them. Sure enough, the mid-melee racks will be going down. Now they're going to quickly jump up to the tier 3 in the top lane. It looks like they're going to try and end this right here, right now, as they know the Chronosphere.
They can't contest.
Yeah, these are heroes that definitely depend on their ultimates quite heavily until they get like very, very late game items, and unfortunately they're not in that position. So they lose their last set of racks. That means Megas, as well as another win for Pycat, now up to 136 dual damage by 38 minutes in, and expecting a GG call here any moment for Fnatic in this game 1. Ace looking
Ace has something to say about it.
Yeah, I guess he just went, oh Jesus, that critical just wipes him out. And Sing Sing, like, his attack speed is insane right now. If you look at him, between the Mask Madness, the Assault Cuirass, like, that by itself has a lot of attack speed, but then you add in the Press the Attack plus the Wisp overcharge as well, and this guy hits max attack speed easily. It's pretty insane.
And he has the crit to back it up, and he would have a Daedalus too.
Yeah. So there it is, Team Tinker quite convincingly taking game 1. Fnatic fighting until the bitter end there. Will be looking to maybe change things up for game number 2. I don't know, Pandago, what would you say the biggest faults were for Fnatic in this game 1? What were the biggest mistakes they made?
They tried to start stacking camps, like to salvage their lanes, and their mid player, the Panda, was just getting killed way too much. He was like 0 and 5 and had no Blink Dagger. I mean, when did he get his Blink Dagger? It wasn't until at least like
it was fairly late into the game,
or yeah, like 20 minutes or something. If your Panda's getting Blink Dagger that late, I mean, you can't do anything.
Right.
So they just, like, I guess they weren't expecting such aggression early game, and they sort of just didn't really they didn't group up. I think once they got behind and they saw the Legion Commander had the Blink Dagger, like with the Wisp, they just had to 5-man. You just 5-man at that point. Try and kill as many towers as you can. You're probably going to be trading and like unfavorably, but I mean that's what you have to do, or else they're just going to get picked off. They got picked off a ton, and then Team Tinker was just like an unstoppable juggernaut.
All right, guys, we'll see whether or not Game 2 brings a change of pace for Fnatic, as if it doesn't, they are going to be out of the Dota 2 Champions League playoffs. So stick around, game number 2 coming up next.